Well, hello, South Fulton. Happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you so very much. It's wonderful to be here with you on this wonderful and beautiful Sunday afternoon. Y'all sound like you're ready to win an election. We flip this state blue on November 3rd. It sounds like come January 5th, you're ready to seal the deal when you send Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff to the United States Senate. Tell the rest of America, welcome to the new Georgia, welcome to the blue Georgia. I want to thank my brother, Mayor Bill Edwards, for his kind introduction. He and I are both graduates of the greatest institution known to humankind. Y'all know how Morehouse men are. But thank you, Brother Bill Edwards, Mayor Edwards. I want to thank all of the council members, all of our state reps who are here. And I want to thank my brother in ministry, Reverend Pastor Olu Brown. Let's hear it for Pastor Brown. This is a defining moment in American history. There are elections and then there are elections. We say all the time that elections have consequences. But after over 300,000 American souls have perished, after seeing over 3,000 people die per day, after witnessing the devastating loss of lives and livelihoods, and still witnessing the kind of dysfunction in our government, unable to move even now. To say that elections have consequences feels like a gross understatement. Elections are a matter of life and death. And so 9 days out from this election, I didn't come to Fulton County to ask you to vote for me. I've come to ask you to vote for your loved ones, vote for your mothers and your fathers and your grandmothers and your grandfathers and your friends. I came to ask you to vote for your children and your grandchildren. This is a turning point. And the great thing about America is that it is a government for and by the people. And when we find ourselves in a fix, it's always the people who can straighten it out. And so this is one of those moments when the people have got to straighten out what the politicians have gotten wrong. That is the covenant we have with one another. It is a people knit together, not on the basis of race or ethnicity, not on the basis of national origin, not even on the basis of religion, but on the basis of an idea, a democratic idea that sees the spark of the divine in each of us And so it understands that the only way I can be safe, I have to make sure my neighbor is safe. That's what we mean when we say equal protection under the law. That's what we mean by that great Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. We are a diverse democratic republic, and the only way for me to keep myself safe is to keep you safe. We the people, we who work because we have heart, but we have no health care. We the people. We who make others rich, but can barely afford the rent. We the people. Who are we? We are those who understand that we are working every single day to make a living, but we don't make a livable wage. We the people. We who have to choose between buying food and buying prescription drugs. We the people. We who desire to embrace the American dream, but when our children decide to pursue college or university training, or technical or vocational training, student debt is so high, and folks have been playing tricks for so long that our children have a mortgage before they have a mortgage. We the people. We who are doing relatively okay, but we know deep in our heart that something is wrong because our schools are broken and our roads are broken and our bridges are broken, our infrastructure is broken, and all of that is a reflection of the brokenness in our politics, and we the people are the only ones who can fix it. And the question today is, are you ready to fix it? I grew up in Savannah, Georgia. I'm a Georgia boy. One of 12 children in my family. My folks, both of whom are preachers, read the Bible, and clearly they took that verse seriously, be fruitful and multiply. 12 children in my family, I'm number 11. And I'm the first college graduate in my family. I went on to earn a bachelor's degree from Morehouse, 2 master's degrees, and a PhD degree. And today I'm running for the United States Senate against the wealthiest member of Congress. Only in America is my story even possible. America is a great country. And what makes it great is you always have a path to make it greater. It's a democratic nation. And what we've got to do is we've got to take our democracy back. It won't happen if you don't vote. Folk died too young, gave too much, sacrificed too much for you not to vote. John Lewis went across that Edmund Pettus Bridge, and all he had was a backpack facing down troopers. And when he went across that bridge, and not only him, there were other folk on that bridge. Don't forget about the sisters. Amelia Boynton was on that bridge. She was gassed that day. Hosea Williams was on that bridge. Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman, 2 Jews and an African American, also stood up for voting rights during that same period. Viola Luiso, a white woman, lost her life fighting for voting rights because she understood that the only way for her to be safe was for her black sisters and brothers to be safe. James Reeb, a preacher, another white preacher, lost his life standing up for voting rights. And all you've got to do is send in a form. All you've got to do is make your way to the polls. Are you ready to vote? So don't waste any time. When we leave here, if you haven't already voted, go straight to the polls. Don't wait until tomorrow. Vote today. You know, don't be like, you know, I'm a preacher. Don't be like those folk who shout in church on Sunday, but they don't listen to anything the preacher says. It's not about what you proclaim on Sunday. It's how you live your life after you walk out of the building. So we didn't come for a pep rally, right? We came because it's time to take our democracy back. It's time to fight until everybody has voting rights, until everybody has a livable wage. It's time to stand up and wake up. I'm the first college graduate in my family. I got there through hard work, grit, and determination. But I also got there because somebody gave me some Pell Grants. Somebody gave me some low-interest student loans. Before that, as a toddler, I'm an alumnus of the Head Start program. Anybody know what Head Start is? Pell Grants are a good federal program. Head Start is a good federal program. And then when I was in high school, headed to college, I was a part of the Upward Bound program. Getting young people who would be the first in their family to graduate from college, getting them ready, having them spend time on a college campus so that they could dream beyond their immediate environment. What I'm saying to you is that I am a living example that when you take personal responsibility and hook it up with good public policy, you make the future great for all of our children. And when you make the future great for our children, you make the future great for all of us. So we're not fooled by mealy-mouthed politicians who would have us choose between personal responsibility and good public policy, as if the money is theirs. The money is ours. That's our money. Somebody needs to tell Kelly Loeffler, that's our money. Because when she heard about the coronavirus pandemic, she was focused on her money. She dumped millions of dollars of stock and told you everything would be all right. She profited from a pandemic. Who does that? Excuse me, I grew up in public housing. In my neighborhood, we would say, where they do that at? She profited from the pandemic. And then when it came time to help just ordinary folk, salt of the earth, hard-working folk, hard-working Georgians who are doing it every day, giving it all they can and can barely make it, and then they lost their jobs, not to any fault of their own, but because of this virus and because of malfeasance, dereliction in duty by government that's supposed to protect you. You lost your jobs due to no fault of your own, and when it came time to give folks $600 of unemployment insurance, Kelly Loeffler said she saw no need. She said that it was counterproductive. Well, I think it's counterproductive to leave an unelected senator in office who doesn't even know how to protect the people she's supposed to be protecting. She's trying to make you afraid of me because she's afraid of you. She's afraid that you understand that she's been using her office to enrich herself rather than protect you. In her heart of hearts, she knows that she was appointed and the people of Georgia are disappointed, and come January 5th, the people of Georgia are coming to get their seat back. She invested millions of dollars, first as a Republican donor, and now she's spending millions of dollars trying to misrepresent me and misrepresent my record. But I'm not worried about that. I've been in public life a long time, not as someone running for office, but I've been out here doing this work. Somebody needs to tell Kelly Loeffler that the folk who sold her that seat don't own that seat. It belongs to the people of Georgia, and the people of Georgia are coming to get their seat back. Because the people of Georgia understand that if my neighbor doesn't have health care, if my neighbor is left vulnerable because she has a pre-existing condition, she may be uncovered, but because she's my neighbor, I too am unprotected. We should have known that before the pandemic. But a deadly airborne disease is a tragic opportunity to learn some eternal lessons. I'm sorry, they put the preacher behind the mic on a Sunday. It is tragic. It is deeply tragic. Over 300,000 American deaths. It is also the parable of a pandemic. We should have known before the pandemic that health care is a human right, and it is in my enlightened self-interest for my neighbor to be covered. But now that we're dealing with a deadly airborne disease, my neighbor can cough, and I'm in trouble because my neighbor coughed. That does not make my neighbor my enemy. And so I have to resist the politics of division. The folk who want to make us afraid of one another then cause us to stand together with one another. What that means is that we are as close together in our humanity as a cough. My neighbor is uncovered, but I'm protected, and so I should want my neighbor to have health care. But not only that, I should want my neighbor's children to have access to a good quality education. But not only that, I should want my neighbor to have a livable wage. I should want my neighbor to not have to choose between prescription drugs and food in the richest nation on the planet. Dr. King said we're tied in a single garment of destiny, caught up in an inescapable network of mutuality. And whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. He said, I can't be all that I ought to be until you are all that you ought to be. And you cannot be all that you ought to be until I'm all that I ought to be. We are caught up in this thing together. And there's nothing that can protect us from one another. And so we have to push back hard against the forces of bigotry and hatred and xenophobia. We have to stand together in this great moment, in this American moment. And I believe we're going to do it. I believe we're going to get it right this time. I believe that that the people of Georgia are going to stand up once again and remind folk that this is Georgia, this is the home state of Martin Luther King Jr., and in this moment, we're going to help the whole country to get it right. So my dad used to wake me up every morning at 6 o'clock. He and my mom believed in hard work. I'm no stranger to hard work. And I'm going to work hard for the people of Georgia. I don't mind working hard. My dad and my mom poured that into me. My mother's from Waycross, Georgia. You know where that is? Waycross, Georgia. And she grew up in the 1950s. Black teenager growing up in Waycross, Georgia, picking somebody else's cotton. But because this is America, the other day, the 82-year-old hands that used to pick somebody else's cotton picked her youngest son to be a United States Senator from the great state of Georgia. She said, son, work hard. If you work hard, you can make it in America. And you can help somebody else along the way. And so she poured that into me, and my dad would wake me up every morning at 6 o'clock. Didn't matter. It could have been a school day, could have been summertime. Just wake up. And he would say, get up. Get dressed. Put your shoes on, son. Get ready. Now, it was Saturday, and I said, Dad, put my shoes on. Get dressed. It's 6 o'clock. And I wasn't but 10 years old. So one day I asked him, get ready for what? I stumped him, and he wasn't expecting that question. He said, I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Just be ready. Now, that's annoying when you're a little boy. When you're a teenager, that's annoying. But I'm glad my dad woke me up early every morning and told me to get ready, because in this defining moment in America, I want you to know I'm ready. I'm ready to be your next United States Senator. Georgia, are you ready to make history? More importantly, are you ready to make a difference? My dad would wake me up every morning at dawn. The thing about dawn is that it's already morning, but it's still dark. It's dark, but morning is on the way. It's dark right now. Many of you have lost loved ones. I've had to eulogize folk in my own church. Many of you have lost livelihoods. You know other folk who've lost loved ones, lost livelihoods. It's dark. Folk in the highest levels of our government waging war against our noble principle of democracy. It's dark. Right here in this state, our own United States senators waging war against the voices of the people of Georgia, trying to undo what you did on November 3rd while representing you. It's dark. We got big issues. Pushing through this pandemic, pushing through this economic downturn is dark. But somewhere I read that weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. And I've got a feeling in my bones that morning is on the way. My dad said, I don't know exactly what I'll have for you to do, just be ready. I'm telling you that morning is on the way. The question, Georgia, is, are you ready? This is a new moment. This is a new season. This is a new opportunity. Whoever would have thought that when the dust cleared on November 3rd, there'd be two runoff races, they'd both be in Georgia, and they'd define the balance of the Senate. It's a new moment. We are well positioned to undo the old Southern strategy where politicians got elected by dividing us. It's time we elect somebody who wants to bring us together. Are you ready? Well, if you're ready, then get up, get dressed, put your shoes on, go vote. Tell your neighbors to vote. Tell your friends to vote. Call folk you like. Call folk you don't like. Call folk who owe you money and tell them it's time to vote. Are you ready? Get up. Get dressed. Put your shoes on. Let's fight until everybody has health care, until everybody has a livable wage, until all of our children are safe, until our democracy is safe, until we push back against this pandemic and bring into fruition a new American moment. We the people can do it. God bless you. Let's go.